Fantasy Labs Twitch video, and I did not announce it beforehand just because I wanted to make sure that everything goes okay, but in the future, assuming it does, I'm going to do live streams around lunchtime every day where I go over the Vegas spreads and the news, kind of like I've been doing the last couple of days, but I'm going to do it earlier in the day and on Twitch now. So giving this a shot. So first I want to go over the spreads and changes in those. So the Celtics and Pacers, it looks like it opened at 201 and it's actually bumped up quite a bit, even though the spread hasn't really changed that much. So I think it's just a small little bump for both teams. I don't think it really favors either one, but just a small little bump. A lot of these lines have actually gone down pretty significantly. So to get a game where it bumps up by 2.5 points, that's obviously something that we want to consider. So I probably upgrade a couple of the guys in these matchups. I think Paul George and some of the elite plays are probably really good GPP plays now, and probably in cash consideration in some instances as well. Spurs and Wizards has actually gone down a little bit, but not significantly so, just by 2 points. And the Spurs have moved to 4-point favorites. They've been getting the majority of the spreads, so that's not terribly surprising. And this doesn't change a whole lot for me, except maybe you could just downgrade the Wizards a little bit, but I don't think you're probably thinking about Wizards in cash games anyway, so you can stick with them in GPPs if you want to. The next game is the Nets and the Hawks, and it's moved up a little bit, and the Hawks have moved just a 0.5 point up in the spread as well, and they've been getting the large percentage of the spread bets as well. So this is not too surprising. The Nets have moved down 1.5 points, so I don't know if you were on Nets before, but I kind of wasn't myself. So this is really nothing to sway me because I wasn't already on them, but just really, really low implied points. But I think if you're on the Hawks, then it's fine. They moved down 1 implied point, but more favorites, so I don't think that's a huge deal. Knicks and the Cavs have moved up 3 points, and the Cavs have moved up a 0.5 point in the spread and are getting a little bit more than majority share of the bets. So they have moved up subsequently as well. So you can see the jump about 1.75 points. So a little bit of a jump, on the Knicks. So a lot of it's just the over/under jumping and the fact that we think there's going to be a little bit more points than kind of initially expected. So I think those guys are due for a bump. And so if you were on Kevin Love or any of those guys, I think that you should continue to be on them. Magic and Rockets moved up a point, and the Rockets actually moved down a point as far as the over/under. This is probably a little bit high. The Magic are on a road back-to-back, so I'm assuming that's why it was so high in the first place. But it looks like they were getting enough bets where they were moved it down a full point, which is a little big as far as the spread goes, and not getting that much of the bet, but something to notice. So I think that really either of these teams are fine options. Obviously the low implied point total for the Magic was concerning, but they're up over 100 now, so I'm kind of fine with them. 76ers and the Bucks moved down pretty significantly, and the Bucks moved down just a 0.5 point in the spread. I think the 76ers, they just are not projected to score a whole lot of points, but I think there's, you could look at TJ McConnell. It looks like Bob Covington is out for tonight, so if you're looking for some of these cheap guys, McConnell, you could do worse. So I'm fine with them. If you're on the Bucks, they have moved down about 1.5 points, so I'm potentially worried about them. Michael Carter-Williams isn't playing, but I think that Jared Bayless, if you're kind of looking for a punt play at only 4K, you kind of just don't worry about it. He's such a good value that it doesn't matter. So I'm still on him for sure. Monroe as well, because you would expect a usage increase. And Giannis as well. Raptors Thunder is moved down just a 0.5 point, and there's really nothing here. Raptors was getting a little bit of the spread. I assume the public just thinks that line was just a little bit too high. I think it was probably fair considering the Raptors on a road back-to-back, and we know what those are like. So I think the line was probably fair, but maybe the public just thought it was a 0.5 point too high, so they moved it down. So I don't think much changes there for me. Blazers and the Jazz moved down significantly, 3 points, even though it didn't really affect the Jazz spread, and the spread's about even, so it looks like each team just moved down a little bit. So something to notice. So it looks like, yeah, they moved down just 1.5 a piece. So just not very much scoring in this game. It looks like Favors is still questionable for tonight. So that's something I would monitor. If he's not able to go, then Trevor Booker would be a definite cash game play and a great value in GPPs as well. But kind of on the other side of this, the Jazz are just a really good defensive team. So the Blazers, you can see that in their implied points. And the Jazz, it's kind of hard to tell right now exactly what the scoring distribution is going to be like without Favors definitely in or definitely out. So that's something I would monitor. Kings and Suns has stayed exactly the same, except that the Suns have moved up just a half point in the spread. Spread bet's pretty even, so it just kind of affects this. Nothing really too big here. If you're on Willie Cauley-Stein or any of those plays, Rudy Gay, whatever, continue to be on them. Clippers Warriors, obviously this is the big one. They started really high and continue to be high. They moved down a half point, but that's nothing too big. I would say the interesting thing is that the Warriors are getting 63% of the bets, but they haven't budged the spread at all. So I think that might be some sharper money on the Clippers a little bit. So something I would think about. I think that the Warriors and the Clippers are both great plays. I think the line probably might be just a smidge high. But the Warriors are great at home, so you never know. But those are kind of my thoughts, and want to touch on some news that Justin's been working on today. So Michael Carter-Williams is definitely ruled out. Again, as I said before, Jared Bayless is under 4K and on DraftKings and FanDuel. So obviously that is a great play in both cash and tournaments because he's going to get a large number of minutes and he's going to be able to hit value pretty easily. Avery Bradley, he was questionable, and it looks like he's likely to play. So just keep note of that. Favors, again, is questionable, and the biggest thing here is whether Trevor Booker is, I assume that he will get the start, but if Derek Favors isn't able to go, then obviously changes a lot of that game. I think Trevor Booker is definitely the play, and if you're looking for a usage bump in the starting lineup, I don't think it affects Gobert that much, so I don't think it really changes his value or usage, but I think that it would be an increase for Gordon Hayward, so I'd potentially look at him in a tournament. Terrence Jones is doubtful, but we didn't think he was going to go. Marcus Thornton has been getting the start lately and has been destroying value, so if the same thing happens where Terrence Jones cannot go and Thornton gets the nod in the starting lineup, then I think that he is fine in cash or tournaments, and he's a nice little salary relief. And that is it. Cody Zeller is probable, and the last kind of thing for tonight is that Robert Covington was ruled out. So again, it's kind of a bump for these wings. I think that TJ McConnell is one of my favorite ones of this group, but I'm not like too excited about any of them. I think there's some other good values you can potentially go at and still get the studs. Morzingis is in, so if you're going to go that route, then you can go that route. So those are my thoughts. Thanks.